Sean, it was a big game on Saturday for the Bobcats, 77 points. How nice is that to look up at a scoreboard and see 77 up there? I don't know if you've experienced it in your life, but did that feel pretty amazing?
Yeah, it was cool, especially for coming to a place like this. They said they not used to doing that very often. So it was cool to see us come in to here and kind of show them what this team can really do. Especially after UTSA kind of we went down a little bit, and so it was good to see the whole team and coaching staff respond and the fans be with that. So.
You've been switching over to tight end, saw you play a little bit of that last game, got some blocking in on that Jamel Jeter touchdown, saw you out there. Well, what's it like switching to tight end after playing receiver pretty much your whole life, I'd assume? What's it like playing tight end now?
It was definitely something that, even at my old school, I've always I did a little bit of it. I never fully made the real switch like I have here. But, when I've always thought about it, and when Kenny kind of asked me, I took that as a sign to kind of take it seriously. So, Coach Bryant, he kind of took me in, and I had 2 or 3 days, of real practice of playing tight end. So, I kind of had to pick up on it quick, but he kind of put me in and let me experience it in a real game experience. So, that was awesome, and shoot, I'm excited for it. It's gonna be fun.
So you just switched like last week, I'm guessing, before the last game.
Yeah, so I Sunday kind of talked about it. Sunday we kind of talked about it. Monday, I kind of had my first meeting. So Monday was kind of really my first day of really learning, I guess, kind of the scheme. And Tuesday was first practice, obviously, so on and so forth with it. But yeah, last week was my first time doing it.
When you look at NFL tight ends like Darren Waller, Travis Kelce, you see their kind of pass catchers that play that tight end position. Is that something that you see yourself in that type of role?
Yeah, instantly. Whenever Kenny kind of brought it up, that was what came to my mind instantly. I started looking into how those guys play. I started paying attention a little bit more to that tight end position now. When I watch the NFL games and even college games. So.
Playing in front of 24,000 people on Saturday, just what was that environment like, being able to feel like the energy in that stadium?
Oh, it was awesome. Always, no matter where you're at, playing in front of a big crowd is something you dream of as a kid. And so anytime you get to do it, you want to soak it in at first. It's always cool to, just look up and, if your family's there, you look up and, they're there too. But it's always a great time to play and especially do good in front of a crowd like that.
You were talking about, everyone was kind of a little bit down after that UTSA loss. So how were you able to kind of regroup and refocus and be able to put those 77 points on Jackson State?
We went back and, we just all went back and corrected our personal mistakes. Nobody, played great and, nobody ever, just plays perfect. So as a team, and even coaching staff, we were able to go back and, correct those mistakes and, come together as a team, that whole last week of practice. And, that was some of the best practices we've had probably, since fall camp. And, it led to a great game.
And how do y'all continue that? Being able, as coaches, making sure y'all are executing right, making sure, everything's kind of crisp and being able to translate that into kind of like a winning streak when you go up against Nevada?
I would say, just keep getting better on what we got to do every single day. Just because we won doesn't mean, we need to change anything. We still need to – there was still things that, should have been cleaner. And, players know that, coaches know that. So, all we have to do is, keep building on what we did this last game and go from there.
So we were talking to Coach Kenny, and he was saying you're a countryman. You like bull riding, you like fishing, you like doing all that stuff. I've never seen a 6'6" bull rider. What do you like to do off the field? Tell us about that.
Well, the bull riding I had to cut out as a little bit younger. I hit a growth spurt, and like you said, you don't see too many tall bull riders. So I had to cut that one out. And then I went to bucking horses and team roping with my dad a little bit, and then started taking football a little bit more serious. So Dad kind of had to cut that out. At least at the rodeo, since I still do it with him for fun. But it's a fun lifestyle. I enjoy every time I go home. That's what I love to do. I spend time with my family and my dad, and, you know, that's all they've done their whole life, and, you know, I love doing it.
Sean, you grew up you've been around the Big 12 pretty much most of your life. Grew up 9-iron from Oklahoma City, so obviously Norman, Stillwater, not too far away. You played at Iowa State. What's the biggest difference been going from the Big 12, which everybody knows about, to the Sun Belt, which sometimes is still trying to find its identity?
I don't know. I was whenever Chasten, he helps with the receivers. You know, he called me as soon as I got into the portal. And, you know, he kind of explained, you know, what Texas State was, and, you know, who they are and who they're bringing in and everything. And you know, I'd never really looked down, like, because it's not the Big 12, it's not, you know, SEC or anything like that. I don't know. I looked at more of the staff and the people that they were bringing into. And, you know, once I, you know, got familiar with them, you know, I haven't looked at this place any different. You know, I treat it as the same, and, you know, there's still multiple players here that, you know, could dominate at the, you know, higher levels. That doesn't really matter.
You're used to playing in games where, when you were at Iowa State, where maybe it was against Texas or Oklahoma, where you guys were a big underdog, but there were other games you guys were favored. This team is not used to being this big of a favorite against an FBS opponent, with Nevada struggling. How have you, and especially players that were here last year, kind of embraced that, where now Texas State's expected to win instead of what happened last year when they went out there to play Nevada?
I mean, when it comes to the favorites and the underdogs, you know, I think you don't change your mindset at all. You know, you still got to treat every opponent the same, good, bad, you know, anything. Because, you know, when you start slacking, that's when you get caught. So, I mean, we still got to, again, take advantage of everything we can, get better, and, you know, play at our best, and, you know, not worry about anything else.
This team hasn't even been 2 games over 500, I think, since about 2015 when they finished 7-5. How have you all been able? How do you all kind of keep building on this and trying to also embrace the newness for some of these players that have been here, that they're not used to being potentially 3-1 or even that far over 500?
You know, I think the best way to do it is you just go day by day. You know, be where you are. You know, practice. You got to get better at practice. You know, when it comes down to the game, take advantage of the game. You know, you don't look ahead or anything. You know, you just focus on what you got going on that day.
Final question for me. I spent 5 years in Oklahoma, so I've got to ask: where are the main wrestling, the bull riding, and all the main wrestling places you go to? Because I can't remember where they were when I was in Oklahoma.
Well, me and my dad, we work in El Reno, which is, you know, that's a little bit out the way, but that's with the livestock market and everything. And then when it comes time, you know, for the rodeos, it's everywhere. I mean, there's some in Choctaw, Spencer. You know, there's some in Edmond, Meeker. They're everywhere. You know, if you want to go to one, you can find one pretty easy.
It's like a trip down memory road.
Oh yeah.
Sean, do you have any rodeo stories you want to share?
Yeah, I guess since he brought up, you know, the 6'6" one. So the reason why I quit, again, hit a growth spurt. But my last time doing it, figured it was probably the last time doing it. I got on, rode for, we'll say, like 7.5 because he got me at the end. Came off and then stepped on my leg, blew my pants open. So, you know, from about the hip to the knee, I didn't have no pants. And I don't know how old I was, but, you know, I was very big for a kid. Definitely wasn't, you know, the strongest minded as a young kid. You know, I was still young, so I was crying and everything, obviously. And yeah, my dad was like, "Yeah, that'll be your last one." And then we went to the horses, and I was pretty good at that one though.
You know, having rode bucking bulls and bucking horses, just what are kind of the different strategies in trying to ride a bull and ride a bucking horse?
You know, it's the bull, I would say, being a lot shorter definitely helps. You know, your heels, they can hook in a little bit better. With the horse, you kind of got to sit there in the saddle and kind of lean back a little bit, which I would prefer the saddle. I'm better at that, you know. That's what, you know, my dad did, so I kind of learned from him pretty easily.
You know, if your football career does come to an end, do you see like a rodeo, going back to the rodeo as a thing?
Oh, 100%, yeah. You know, and hopefully, you know, my football career doesn't come to an end, you know, too soon. I would obviously love to keep playing and, you know, do this for as long as I can. But, you know, when it does, obviously, yeah, I'm gonna go do that and enjoy that while I can. And then, even after that, I'll still be around it.